you see me? Can you see me? Nobody's here. That's typical, isn't it? Yes, my hair's gone all fuzzy and frizzy. It's all curly. It's just a mess. Ah. So, yeah, this was in tune last week, but it's not really in tune this week because I haven't. It's been heated up. I should think that's what it. Happy Sunday. I haven't cooked really because I haven't gone anywhere really. Just to put the rubbish out, the recycling. It's recycling day tomorrow. Yes. So the neighbour. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, Philip. Good evening, Arafingal. Good evening, people. Next door neighbour trimmed our hedges and the garden, and so the green bin. They filled our green bin and their green bin. But yeah, my father saw a JML trimmer on the television. Went, that looks amazing. It will cut down everything. It will cut down trees and stumps and all sorts of things. Order it immediately. So I ordered it, and then he was like, it's not come. It's not come. Anyway, it came yesterday. It took absolutely ages for it to put together because instead of having proper instructions, there is a black and white sort of. There's a picture that's got numbers. No, that's got letters on it of the different parts, and you can't really see what the parts are, and you're like, which part is that? And then there's a sort of comic strip thing of photographs, close-up photographs, where there's a thing, and it doesn't say which of the lettered bits it is. It's like Z1B. You should, and you just like a picture of a picture, and you're like, I don't know which bit that is. So it took me absolutely ages and looking things up online and finding a similar model. I couldn't find the exact one to try and put it together, and I'm like, I don't know. And my dad read the instructions, and he was like, well, you have to wear gloves and boots, and you have to make sure that you've got goggles on and loose fitting clothing and all these things. It looks really dangerous. I can't use it. He's like, and it does look really dangerous because I'm like, well, I think I've put it together right. But there's like instead of having it all in one, you have to. It took really a long time to screw one bit on, which is the strimmer bit, and then there's another bit with wheels on it, and you have to undo with the screwdriver that, and then put the other thing back on. And even by putting the one thing on, the plastic is already. It's like, well, if I unscrew that again, the whole plastic will split. The whole thing will fall apart. That's not really practical. So I'm like, well, that was a good buy. JML, eh? Very good. You can see why Wilco and places like that went bust really, because their whole business model depended on having quite a lot of JML stuff. It's like, no, I don't know why that makes me think. It makes me think of Buckfastly. Why does it make me feel Buckfast wine? Why does it remind me of that? It's got nothing to do with that. JML Solutions. And do you remember, if you're old like me, from back in the day when they used to have the man that bought is it Remick? I don't know what it is. It's there was like a shaver, and he liked the company so much that he bought the company, and he would insist on being in the adverts. Now JML seems like a sort of throwback to that, except instead of shavers, it's everything else, all bits of things, and it's like Team U quality stuff that's got JML on it, as if it's some sort of innovation. Remington shavers, that's it. Remington steel. Remington shavers. Yeah, that's it. Liked it so much that he bought the company. Anyway, JML is a bit like that, but it's a load of old tat that looks like it's going to be saving your life. You're like, that's a thing that I need a gadget for. I'll get that JML thing for only $69.99, and that'll solve everything. And my dad was so excited, and then it came, and our hearts just sank, and I was just in the hot heat, trying to put this thing together, and I did put this thing together, but I haven't tried it yet because, to be honest, I'm scared that it will damage things, and it doesn't. It doesn't do anything except trim a little bit of grass. It doesn't cut down trees and make your tea. And doesn't wear suspenders and a bra. It doesn't do these. It doesn't cut down trees. It loves to swear. It might like to press wildflowers. It puts on women's clothing and hangs around in bars. It probably does, but it doesn't cut down the trumps and seeds. The stumps and trumps and trumpsons. It doesn't cut anything like that down. It doesn't cut down the stumps and the trunks and the branches that he felt that the advert gave the impression of doing. And indeed, the person in the advert's just like gently going, woo, I've cut down everything, not wearing protective clothing, not wearing any other things, and having a really relaxing time, as if they haven't spent a day trying to figure out what this terribly, it's like close-ups. It's like, what is this? I think this bit is this bit, but I can't tell from that terrible picture. There's like no guidance really, and it doesn't say, oh, you can put this bit on or you can put that bit on. It's just a load of, it's awful, it's terrible, it's very disappointing, and it's like the last time that I feel this disappointed. I mean, there's a lot of disappointments in life, but I remember way back during the millennium. Do you remember that? That my dad bought a giant firework that he was going to set off in the millennium. And we were all really worried, because I think Philip knows about this, because I think Philip helped to make sure that the millennium bug didn't kill everybody. And everyone was like, well, nothing happened. But everyone was like, oh, maybe things will fly from, fall down from the sky and everything will go and blah. It's like, we tried to not worry about that and had a big firework to celebrate it instead. So he put the big giant firework across the field. There's a field opposite us. He put it in there and he set it off and it went boom. So that's really a level of disappointment. It's like, you expect it. So I'm like, please, my dad's so optimistic and expects so much, and it's always going to be doomed to failure. Yes, lots of work. Fireworks. It's like, baby, you're a firework. You're really disappointing, and you take too much time to be set off, and it's really tragic. Firework. That's what a firework is. It's terribly disappointing. Now, it's good when you go to a firework, like you go to like a big planned firework display and you go, whoa, that thing, and there's a series of things. You're like, whoa, that's amazing, more things. But when you buy them yourself, it's dangerous and disappointing, and it's just plain wrong. So I'm quite glad that they mostly banned fireworks in the interim, because it saves us a disappointment, and also was really scary around the time of November the 5th, which is Firework Day in this country. I know it's like July the 4th in America, you set off the fireworks, and Chinese culture and Diwali. There's other firework reasons for fireworks, but the main one, way back in the day, was only November the 5th. It wasn't New Year's Day, and it wasn't July the 4th, because we don't do that. And there wasn't so many people celebrating Diwali. And, maybe there was pockets of different people. But, generally, the sort of white bread sort of areas of the UK, before everybody was happy and jolly and we all lived together in harmony. We don't live together in harmony. But before that, in the sort of pockets of places, November the 5th was the day. And it was really terrifying, because all the weeks before and the weeks after, it was like, don't set off fireworks, because you'd still have to watch it afterwards, because there'd still be fireworks around. Don't set off fireworks in people's faces. And there was this girl going down the road, and she'd be like, ah! And then sparklers, don't carry sparklers, don't be careful with sparklers. And people are jabbing, I burnt my fingers with the sparklers, It's like this little boy or little girl with gloves on. It's like, or didn't have gloves on maybe. So everybody, and I was terrified of all the fireworks that would be left over afterwards, and people using them and just throwing them at you in the street. I was like, no, that's going to happen. It never happened. But there was always the potential of that happening, because, the public information films of the days of yore always made sure Charlie said, don't throw fireworks in your face. Don't play with matches. Don't go in the canal. He was a cat. Charlie was a cat. But also, and there was very stiff animation, but also there was the real life ones, like I've said it before, I'll say it again, Apaches, where there was a group of little kids that had terrible accidents in a farming community, and all sorts of bad things happened to them, and it was directed by the person that also directed The Long Good Friday. So imagine that, a terrifying film that a small child, me, was able to watch when they had a day off school, because they were ill that day, and they saw it on the television in the middle of the day. So I was not safe, Not safe from that. Safe from farming accidents forevermore, because I'm certainly not going to put bleach in a bottle under the sink that you're going to think is pop in a pop bottle. I'm definitely not going to go in a sheep dip. I'm definitely not going to play on a tractor. I'm definitely not going to go in a shed and have farm machinery falling on my head. It was very, very scary. Very scary indeed. Anyway. So, yeah, that's another thing. People say, oh, I was led to believe that there'd be quicksand. There was quicksand everywhere and everything. Everyone was thinking, I'm so... It's like, oh, there's no quicksand. It's like, aha. Well, as I've said before, I'm at the stage where I'm just repeating all the stories I've ever repeated. I am not disappointed by the quicksand thing, because I have had experience of something very similar, that I had to save my little brother from Blackpool Beach when I was about 12 or 13 and he was about 8 or 9. Probably that. He's 3 years younger than me, and we ran down Blackpool Beach. We went to Blackpool. It was very disappointing when we were like, we're going to the sea. So we ran down the beach under the pier, and it was like a tarry black substance rather than sand on the beach, and he sunk into it. He sunk into it right up to his knees, and it was like tar. It wouldn't come off. So I had to save my brother from quicksand in Blackpool Beach. And I've looked this up, and it's like, well, there is no quicksand in Blackpool Beach. It's like, I beg to differ, because there was, and it was terrible. I've asked other people, have you had that problem at Blackpool Beach? And they go, what are you talking about? Blackpool Beach is lovely. Brilliant. Well, at this particular point in time, there was quicksand or tar or oil or something. It was awful, and we couldn't get it off. Like when I rescued him when we went home, it was just stuck to everything. So I have no idea what that was, but it was terrifying. Maybe it was the start of a horror movie that we only just escaped from the ending of. Maybe that horror movie is going to re-emerge, and that will be horrible, and you'll hear it then, and you'll go, wow, Blackpool Beach, the secret of the Blackpool Lagoon Beach, tar pit. It was very scary, so almost certainly he dropped. Well, it might have been, but the whole beach was covered in it, and he sank so far down into this quicksand. So I have had experience of something very akin. Well, if it wasn't quicksand, it was terrifying. Terrifying. So, never again. So, Blackpool Beach. What do I remember about Blackpool? We went to the tower. There wasn't like ballroom dancing. Oh, there might have been ballroom dancing. I think there might have been ballroom dancing, but there was a hologram exhibition. Now, the hologram exhibition was basically not really holograms. It's like I got a pair of earrings that had holograms on them, but it was actually not really holograms. I think it's I can't remember the name of it, but when there's just an optical illusion. I used to have I can't remember what it's called, but I used to have a postcard with Peter Pan on it, where it's like it looks 3D, and it's there is a name for it. I can't remember what it is. It's not really a hologram, but anyway, this was like a sciencey thing, and there was like a Van de Graaff generator, and there was all sciencey things in Blackpool Tower. So that was no, it wasn't a stereogram. No, it wasn't a magic eye. It was there is a name for it. I can't remember what it is. It's like a 3D image. Oh, it's a 3D image. Look it up on the internet, but I've taken off all my AI, so AI is not gonna get to me. Like 3D image. There's a definite thing for it. Postcard. There's a certain name for it. I can't remember what it is. Lenticular. That'll do. Lenticular paintings. Lenticular, where it makes your eyes look like lentils. That can't be what it means. Lenticular pictures. They were lenticular pictures. That wasn't a hologram. A hologram is what they said that they were, but they weren't really holograms. So I had like earrings that sort of shone. It was really lenticular pictures. I think they might have had a few holograms where you go like, and it's like you can see them and it looks like, but they are really not really holograms. It's what you look one way and there's one thing, and then it's not just 3D. It's like the image changes if you move around it, that sort of thing. Anyway, that was good. And Blackpool Beach. walked through the market and there was a load of videos or DVDs or something like that. And I remember there being something called I Want to Be a Woman or something. And I was like, what is that? And 12-year-old me was like, that looks very interesting. It's apparently like a film about some person that is played by an actual woman. That's what I'm talking about. It's played by a woman that's a woman that's pretending to be a man that wants to be a woman. It's politics. I don't know. It was an old film at the time. I was like, what is that film? It's like, it was probably not called that. I can't remember what it was called. But I was like, what is that film? I want to watch that film. That looks like a good film. I didn't know. I've never seen that film. I've got no idea whether it was good. I don't know. What was it called? I'm looking that up too. I don't know whether it was. I mean, this was not the 1970s, but I think the film was from the 1970s. Film. I think I've got a book upstairs about. No, don't know what it is. I want what I want. I want what I want. That's what I think it's called. Anne Hayward. It's just like amazing what you can find on the internet just by looking up. Why is this film that this is that and this is the thing. Who needs AI when you've got normal search? Yes. Anyway, so I just. It's like, I can't, why do I remember that? I don't know. Holograms and I Want What I Want and Sinking into Sand and Blackpool Town. That was Blackpool, and we did go to the Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which is like the sort of theme park, but it's like on the beach. It's not it's not a beach. It's like a fairground. And we didn't go on, like, there's a famous roller coaster, I think. We didn't go on that because it was too scary because we were still kids. But we did go into a little cafe where they had animatronic animals playing a band. It was like, whoa. And they were already failing. They're like, I'm playing a band, I'm playing a band, I am an animatronic thing. I think Chuck E. Cheese in America had things like that, and I think I saw a load of videos a few years ago about all the scary animatronic heads that are found in the back rooms here and there, and people are like, look at this terrifying thing, imagine it moving, because I think they've stopped using, very much like holograms, animatronics are not in favour anymore. Animatronics, never. That's the only animatronics I've ever seen. I think there's the Hall of Presidents in America, and there's like Disneyland, Disney World. It's a small world after all, and all of that. There's a lot of animatronics in the world, but the ones in Blackpool Pleasure Beach were the only ones that I have experienced as a person in the UK. We don't have them so much over here, I don't think. Maybe they have them elsewhere. So it's a collection of random. What am I even talking? It's just like the heat. I'm like overheating and I'm just talking nonsense. What is new? What is new? It's not usually the heat. I don't usually have the heat as an excuse, but I'm getting dehydrated. Oh, water. That'll help me. Anyway, earlier on I was talking about my childhood toys, which I've talked about before. Yeah, but I just put it on one because I've got like a second account on TikTok, not on my main account even. I just felt like doing it on this is the one I'm using, but I've got a different account that I've only got like one video on, so I get hardly anyone watching in the first place, but absolutely nobody watched this. Anyway, these toys were illustrative of something, but the actual toy that I wanted to talk about, because I don't know whether it's a real toy, that I remember having when I was a child, it was this thing where it had a head and a body, and I probably have talked about this before, but I still can't believe it. You drag it apart and then it goes back together and it goes, my feet can't touch my body, and then it goes, I'm falling apart, woohoo, or I'm falling apart, woohoo, or, and then it goes, oops, I just lost my head for a moment, and other things. It was scary, terrifying. I think maybe I imagined it, because I don't know what it is. And I found, I mean, if I've got these childhood toys, then what on earth? Look at the quality. They look like I've never even played with them. And I did play with them. Because that one doesn't look like, because that one is the one that went on the fire and got burned. But am I still alive? This is all post me throwing this on the fire, and it bursting into flames. So anything that happened afterwards, it's another dimension, because that dimension, I cut that off there. So everything else is hallucination from that point onwards, probably. So maybe I did imagine this. But that is the toy that I remember most, because it talked. I just lost my head for a moment. I'm falling apart. Oh! My feet can't touch my body. Just imagine how scary that was. I think I said something about the records that I had as a child a couple of weeks ago. And I didn't mention this, because everything in my life is disturbing. It's like a horror movie sinking into sand, having burning bears and weird creatures and terrifying monster records. And how did I survive it? I don't think I did. I probably didn't. There's a lot to be said for multiple timelines, and I'm on timeline number 1,000,004 from all the dead ends, from all the animatronics attacking me, or things like that. Yes, scary things. And the fairground ride in Barry Island, where I got jostled with my little cousin, and I had a massive bruise on me, and it's and it wasn't scream if you want to go faster, it was please let me off, I am going to die. But they didn't let me off. They just was you're making so much fuss. I was covered in bruises. I might have even broken my leg. I didn't break my leg, but it was very painful, and it ruined my exams, because I had to do all my exams. And that's probably why I didn't go to like Oxford or Cambridge, because I failed all my exams because I was covered in bruises. So that's probably it. Ooh, somebody said something and I missed that. Apparently, Mattel Talk Up doll. Oh, really? Funny talk or silly talk? Was it? I don't know. I don't know where it came from. It felt like it was secondhand, so it felt like it had been around for a long time and discarded, and it had made its way to my house. It's like this talking doll made its way to my house. I don't know how it got there. Nobody did. It just appeared to terrify me. Falling apart. Woo! My feet can touch my body. I just lost my head for a moment. Might have said something else. What else did it say? Chucky. Like Chucky, only smaller. I can't remember what it looked like. That's it. I can't. It just had a head and a body, and I cannot remember what it looked like at all. What was it called? Silly Tool Doll. I can't remember what it looked like. So I don't know where it's gone now. I don't think it broke. It just walked away and went to somebody else's house, probably. Funny Tool Doll. Mattel. That's Funny Talk Mattel doll. Let's have a look. Oh yes. Oh yes. It had a hollow, instead of having a nose, it had a sort of hollow area. Yes, that's definitely it. That's scary. That is it. That is it. That is definitely it. Oh, it was. I don't know what colour hair it had though. What else did it say? Silly Talk doll. Yeah, it is that. What? Rare 1971. Rare. It's rare, and I lost it. Think how millions of pounds I could get from its worth. Hundreds of thousands of pounds. Between £50 and £100. And I don't know where it is. Oh, £300. Never. It was removed from the box, so that's no good. But it was scary. What did it say? What sayings? What did it say? Did it say anything else? Sayings. Thank you for looking it up, person. I could probably have looked it up myself, but I didn't, because I'm very. I'm so silly. Are you silly too? I'm pretty tricky. I'm happy. Achoo. No, it didn't say any of those things. So it says, I'm so silly. Are you silly too? I can fit me and portable. Hi plus giggle laugh. I'm pretty tricky. I'm happy. Achoo. It did not say any of those things. So I think this was probably programmed by somebody wanted to scare people. It's definitely, I'm falling apart. Oh, my head can't touch my body. I just lost my head for a moment. Now that is terrifying. And that is not what it says that this one said. So I do not know what was going on there. I'm so silly. Are you silly too? It never said any of those. Will you play with me? No, that's something else. Well, that's bizarre. Each doll had 8 different phrases. 8 different phrases. Well, what else did it say? Phrases. That's so strange. Mattel. Silly talk. I just lost my head for a moment. Well, that's, if it had 8 things, what else did it say? Because it didn't say any of those things that it said. I've lost my head over you. That's not what it is. My feet are moving closer. Oops. Here comes my body. That's it. It does do that. Here comes my body. Yeah. I can't remember any of the other things. Oops, here comes my body. I just lost my head for a moment. I'm falling apart. Ooh, ooh. Terrifying and not appropriate for a small child, I would suggest. It's no wonder I threw all my toys in the fire. I was trying to get rid of the scary, very terrifying doll. Anyway, I have now, you know, I said I'd put in funding for my show, my What the Puck show. It's not called What the Puck. It's Puck in the Valleys, about Puck and the secret and how sort of folk tales and stuff for like a theatre show for the future for next year. I'm going to start it in October. No matter come what may, but if I've got funding, then it'll be slightly bigger scale than it would have been otherwise. Anyway, I've got to start like researching properly for that, and I've got to start finishing my show for Edinburgh this year because I've got 9 weeks and I should really have done it by now. And I've let it slide. So I'm going to do that. But yeah. But I did put in the funding and I did the budget completely wrong. It was so bad, and they were very helpful because they could have just gone, you can't have it. Sorry, you messed up. They kept going, you've done it wrong, do it again, you've done it wrong, do it again, that one's blank, that one I can't open. So eventually I was like, so I was travelling, I went to Edinburgh. I travelled all day Tuesday. I did all the meetings and then came back Wednesday and travelled all day Wednesday. And in the morning on Wednesday, I got a thing saying we still can't open it. Do it again. I'm like, I'm traveling. I won't be back until like 7 o'clock. All day, so long. So I spent 2 days traveling, but I got back and I was like, and then it was like I realized that I'd missed a lot out. So it's a good job that I got to do it again. And then I realised you've got to balance the books. I've never in my life balanced a book. I do not know how to do a budget. I don't know what balancing the book means, but apparently it means you have to spend as much as you get in, and then everything is good. It's very silly because it doesn't make any sense, because obviously you're going to spend more than you ever get in and never make any money, because that's my life really. Making money? What are you talking about? Balancing the books. Pickwick paper. Result happiness. Yes. Make sure that you only spend what you have and you don't overspend. Now, what I do is I don't spend anything and I don't make anything, generally speaking. So the concept of making sure that I got things coming in and I've got things going out and they balance very much. I don't know how that works. I work more. I'm not like a household budget person. I'm a country budget person. Just keep spending and never pay it back. That's how you run a country. That's how you run a country. If you're a billionaire, you borrow on what you potentially have, and you never spend any money, and you never help anybody, and you never spend any money, and you never help anybody, and actually you don't have any of that money, but potentially you do, and that's how I work, because I am a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire, as if I'm a billionaire. I'm a billionaire that's got a broken teddy bear. Not a billionaire. Wouldn't have this crappy guitar if I was a billionaire. I would spend lots of money on helping everybody. If I were a billionaire, then I wouldn't be a millionaire. And that's the whole point, to not be a billionaire anymore, because you spend all your money on not being a millionaire and helping everybody else, including yourself. Spiritually and mentally and physically, you are helping yourself by helping everybody else, and that is how it works. If you're only helping yourself, you're helping nobody, because nobody will like you, and you'll be a miserable son of a bitch, son of a bitch, son of a bitch. So that's what happens. So that's gone in now, and they wish me luck, which is a positive sign, even though it probably wasn't ever going to get anywhere. They were nice to me, so that's all I asked for. Be kind to me, even in my failure, and I'll be all right, really. I was thinking that this is actually holding up right, but I've just realised there's a little dent in her ankles. Must look after my dollies better. Don't play with them anymore. I'm a grown-up person. A grown-up person. Yes. So, good luck. Thank you. 3 different models, and they said different things. Sorry. Yes, the one that I had was the terrifying model. The model that does not say kind things of the silly talk doll. Anyway, I will leave you to it too. I'm reading Queen of the Damned, because I tell you what's magic. I've lost only about £6, £7. But I think most of it must have been from my eyes, because I was getting all double vision, and now I can read again without any I mean, I've got contact lenses in. It's like, so I found Queen of the Damned. So, yes, one of the more beautiful of the clandestine meeting places, less pleasing with the inhabitants. See, I can read with my eyes, and I couldn't for ages, so I don't know what's happened, whether I'm just eating better, whether it's because it's lighter outside and there's more light going in my eyes, whether my optic nerves were filled with fat, or whether it's just a coincidence that somehow my eyes, it's a miracle, my eyes, I can see and I can read, so that's good. Ha ha. The weather is great, and I can read, and I can't find Vampire Lestat, and I can't find Interview with a Vampire, even though I've bought loads of them, but I've got a torn up copy of Queen of the Damned. So I've got my vampire fix. He rose to go, and one of the young ones also rose. I can read. It's a miracle. All right, so I will see you next week, and have a good week, and keep hydrated, and don't get too hot, and wear sunscreen. Always wear sunscreen. Yes. See you next week. Bye bye.